Okay, so we're out here today. This is the overgrown berry patch, berry whatever. You hear the deer back there. Anyway, we have decided we're going to mow this even. Okay, so through here, get this cleaned up a little bit. We still have berries in the back there, but the wife decided she wants to keep some of these. And there's some that are in there that are dead, like this one here. And instead of trying to make cuttings from this, what we're going to do is I'm going to dig up some of the root balls on some of the greener ones. Fall is almost here, so some of them back there you see are changing colors. And I don't want to take those. I want to take some of the green ones that have still some life in them to recover from the transplant. And we're actually going to put them in pots, and then we're going to prune them down to maybe a foot tall and see if they survive. I have no idea what berries these are, so we're going to just kind of take a stab at it and hope we get one of each. But chances are they'll probably all be blackberries. We have some raspberries mixed in there too. But we want to mow this down so that we have this area open, get this manicured, because it is actually part of the yard, or it was at one point. And the tree line actually starts beyond these bushes. As you can see, the trees here, and then on this side the tree line is back there, and that's a good 10 to 15 feet from me to those birch trees right here. And these are all berry bushes. And we're going to be clearing out this section here of trees. It's all overgrown. I had a pretty defined line where I wanted my property to be cleared, and it's overgrown through the summer. We just did not have any time with all the house renovations to get out until September, and here we are almost in the middle to the end of September, and we are expecting snow within the next 6 weeks or so. So we are trying to get as much done as possible, get this all manicured. Today we'll be mowing the grass, getting it cut to the proper height in most areas. You can see some of it's already low. Those are the areas where the shade is from the sun direction. We've gotten a lot of rain, so the ground is still wet, and I hate cutting wet grass, but I have to do it because I'm limited on time today. But we've moved piles of brush so that we can get into these areas where the brush has allowed the grass to overgrow, specifically in this area here. And we will be burning some brush once it starts cooling off. We keep getting dips down into the low 60s, and then it'll bounce back up into the 80s. Like today it'll be 80. But we need to get this stuff trimmed, start getting it ready for winterizing. So that's what we're doing today. Alright, so here we are again, back at the berry bushes. The ground is still damp, so it makes digging a lot easier. And I just wanted to show you real quick the root balls of these berry bushes. So you have your main, this was originally the main plant. You can tell by the thickness of the root, okay? And it went pretty deep. These little sucker roots go pretty deep. It had to get cut off there. But that's probably almost 2 feet long. And you'll see a clump, you'll see a gathering of these berry stems, these berry bushes with their stems going into the ground. Well, these are the suckers that come off of this main root ball, and that's what you want to look for when you're doing like palm trees, or in this case berry bushes. You'll see a bunch of stems going into one particular area. There's another one, a bunch of thin stems going into the thicker stems, and here's the main root ball of that, and here's a smaller root ball with some bigger plants. One of the stems is dead, one of the other dead stems got broken off, but there's two main stems. So what I'll do is I'll end up cutting these down. Here's a little tiny one that's just starting to sprout. Here's the tiny little stalk coming out of the root ball. So what I'll do is I'll cut these down. These are pretty big. I don't know if they'll survive, but I'll cut them down, like I said, to about a foot, and hopefully that'll create more suckers to come up, and we'll have berries that we can replant later on. And this is actually growth over the year. So these things are about 4 to 6 feet tall. I'm 6 feet tall and I'm eye level with some of these. So if like that one over there is taller than I am. That's probably 7 feet tall right there. But anyway, what I'll do is I'll put these root balls in. I'll use the stem portions that I'm going to cut off, and I'm going to try and get those to root separately. I'll stick those into the dirt as well with some rooting hormones and see if they'll root and take. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to put them in a pot that's probably 2 or 3 times the size of the root ball. And the rest of these are just going to get mowed down. They will grow back, but my wife is concerned that they may not, but they will. And to prove that, we have mowed this many times. As you can see here, this is mowed, and if you look close enough, you can see they're starting to come back. And actually, mowing is the worst thing you can do when you're trying to get rid of these kinds of bushes, because what happens is the pulverization and the cutting of the roots and even the stems, they lay on the ground, and unless you get them up, they will root in place. Okay, and it creates the spread. So we have berry bushes all throughout here now, and this is, as you can see, the smaller berry bushes. That's from when we cut it down last winter or last fall. Those are all brand new berry bushes. And if you see over here on the other side, I don't know if you can see it from this distance. Let me see if I can zoom in. Okay, you see where these weeds and stuff are right out there? That big birch right here? Well, if you look, come on over, see all these over here? Those are now berry bushes. And what's happening is they're getting light from the sun and they're starting to grow. So that's what's going to happen when we clear out all these trees. And these trees, we're allowing more light to penetrate. Okay, so not only are we getting more critters, we have a yellow jacket's nest in here where I was working. I had to stop working over there. But we're getting the invasive growth of these berry bushes. So once we get this cleared and can keep it mowed, eventually they'll die off and they won't return. But for now, this is the area we're focusing on. And it really is just an aesthetics thing at the moment. But you know, the kids have a little bit of yard, but we are getting a lot of things growing in here that we don't want to grow and we don't want to have spread. You can see they're all the way up this tree line, and that's our fault. That's just simply neglect on my part because I've been too busy. So this is what we're going to haul off. We're going to get these replanted, and we'll start mowing our grass. Alrighty. Okay, so we went ahead and got them transferred into some pots there. I'm going to leave these kind of tall for now so they can get some moisture from the air and everything. Got them in some pots. I did cut the center one down, but the other two on the sides here are still full length. They're about 5 feet long. And we're going to go ahead and water them and all that good stuff and get everything situated. I have not cut down those bushes yet. I'm going to use my trusty DR trimmer for that because the mower just wasn't able to knock them down since I had to take the brush guard off to install the snow plow last winter. But that's going to be the next project, tearing those things down. That big old clump right there. Can't miss it. Alright, well, we'll see how it goes. On to the next.